I had to immediately hop onto the soonest flight to Kyoto, spending only 18 hours in Japan. And it's got to be the shortest and craziest overseas trip for me to date. When life gives you lemons, add some vodka. In this video, I want to share with you 9 practical transport tips if you want to travel to Kyoto. But first, let me share with you interesting information about this ancient city. Feel free to go to the timestamp and skip straight to the travel tips if you wish, but I would encourage you to stay on for the fun facts as a mini refresher course about this cultural city. 1. Ex-capital. Kyoto was the capital of Japan for over 1,000 years until Tokyo became the capital in 1868. It is now the capital city of the Kyoto Prefecture, which is one of the 47 prefectures in Japan today. The Kyoto Prefecture is located in the Kansai region, and it is a major part of the Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe metropolitan area. Kyoto City is located in a peaceful valley surrounded by mountains on 3 sides. 2. UNESCO World Heritage. Kyoto is known as Japan's unofficial cultural capital and is home to 17 UNESCO World Heritage temples and shrines. There are also many gardens and palaces. Major landmarks in Kyoto include the Kyoto Imperial Palace, Kiyomizu-dera, Jinkakuji, and Kyoto Tower. 3. Buddhism. The city has altogether over 3,000 temples and shrines, and it is said that over 1,000 of these are Buddhist temples, which is why Kyoto is also thought to be the capital of Buddhism. 4. World War II atomic bomb. Kyoto was a potential target for the atomic bomb in World War II, but luckily escaped bombing due to the intervention of Henry Stimson, the Secretary of War in the Roosevelt and Truman administrations. The city was removed from the list of targets and replaced by Nagasaki. As a result, Kyoto is one of the few Japanese cities that still have an abundance of pre-war buildings. 5. Climate change. For those of you who care about climate change, you would have heard of the Kyoto Protocol, which is an international agreement linked to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It was adopted in Kyoto in December 1997 and enforced in February 2005. The protocol aims at reducing the greenhouse gas emissions globally. 6. Population. Kyoto was the largest city in Japan until the late 16th century. As of 2023, the city has a population of around 1.46 million people, and it is the 7th largest city in Japan as at the date of this video. 7. Economy. Domestic and international tourism contribute significantly to Kyoto's economy, but traditional Japanese crafts are also a major industry. Kyoto's kimono weavers are particularly famous, and the city remains the premier center for kimono manufacturing. Sake brewing is another prominent traditional industry in the city, and the headquarters of major sake brewers, Keihan and Takara Holdings, are in Kyoto. The city also built around sectors such as IT and electronics. The gaming entertainment brand Nintendo and the electronics brand Omron are headquartered here as well. 8. Kyoto University. In case you have any study plans or if you're considering sending your kids to Japan for educational purposes, Kyoto University is considered the best in Japan after the Tokyo University. It was established in 1897 and it is the 2nd oldest university in the country. It was also one of the former imperial universities. 9. Climate. Kyoto has a humid subtropical climate with hot and humid summers, but also relatively cold winters with occasional snowfall. The rainy season is around 1.5 months, from mid-June to end July. Kyoto, like most of the Pacific coast and central areas of Japan, is prone to typhoons during the summer and autumn. Now let's dive into the 9 transport tips for Kyoto. 1. Airport. Kyoto has no airport, so if you want to go there from overseas, the closest airport is the Osaka Kansai Airport. Kyoto is located 283 miles or 445 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. So if you go from Tokyo, you can go on the high-speed train or the Shinkansen, which takes 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you choose to fly to Kyoto from Tokyo, it will take you around 3 hours including ground transport, which is almost 1 hour longer than the Shinkansen, so think twice. 2. Hong Kong Express. I flew from Hong Kong to Japan, which is another marvelous city to travel, but that's another video. Hong Kong Express sounds like a fast food shop, but nope, it is an airline where I found the quickest next flight to Osaka on the day, so that's what I picked. Hong Kong Express is one of the 4 main passenger airlines based in Hong Kong. I realized it is a budget airline, so it is all economy seating. It is very similar to EasyJet, Ryanair, or Wizz Air in Europe, so don't expect anything fancy, but it is decent and gets the job done. This means no TV screens, so bring your own entertainment. There's also limited food and drinks that you can buy in flight. I saw 2 pasta dishes, the famous Hong Kong egg waffles, which is very similar to poffertjes in the Netherlands. There is also bubble tea and the usual drinks. 3. Customs upon arrival. You might want to fill out the online form for pre-registration on this link if you want to save time. And if you don't want to fill out physical forms, make sure you take a screenshot of your assigned QR codes. This will make your process faster, but it is not required. I did not get to fill this out ahead of time, but going through customs and immigration was still fine. It just took a little bit longer for me. Just get ready to fill out 2 forms, one for customs, another one for immigration. There are no restaurants at the arrival hall at the Osaka Kansai Airport, so pack your own snacks if you're on the go, especially if you're traveling with kids. That said, there are restaurants at the departure hall, so you can go there for food if you're not on a rush like me this time. 4. From Osaka to Kyoto. You can either take a bus or a train from the Osaka Kansai Airport directly to Kyoto. It is very convenient and takes around 1 hour 30 minutes on bus and 1 hour 20 minutes on train, so that's only a 10-minute difference. Cost-wise, one-way train ticket is 2,900 yen non-reserved, around 3,400 yen reserved, and 4,200 yen first class per person. For bus, one-way ticket is around 2,900 yen, and my round trip was 4,600 yen. The first thing I saw was the bus sign the moment I stepped out of the arrival hall, so that's what I took. There are bus stops clearly numbered right outside the arrival hall, as you can see here. The bus stop to Kyoto is number 8. You can find 3 ticketing machines right next to the number 8 bus stop. Luckily, there's an English option on the ticketing machine, so that was helpful. But I didn't notice a credit card slot, so I had to pay cash. That's one point to remember when you travel to Japan. Make sure that you always have enough yen with you because it is still a country that prefers cash, at least for travelers. I find this an interesting contrast to mainland China, where everything is digital. All you need is a phone and an app in mainland China and you are king. But that's another video. 5. Services on bus. I was happy to find out that there's free Wi-Fi on the bus, which was super convenient. Even if you don't have local data and lose the airport's free Wi-Fi when you board the bus, the Keihan bus Wi-Fi gives you 10 minutes for free, which is sufficient time for you to register and connect to the bus free Wi-Fi service. But in my case, my phone could not connect until almost halfway through the ride. But it did work at the end, so no major complaints. There's also a bathroom on the bus as well, so it's similar to Greyhound. The bus was very clean, and for some reason, they kept on the lights on the inside throughout the night ride. But I guess it's great because then you can easily read or work if you need to. 6. Kyoto Bus Terminal. The bus that I took had 2 stops on way to Kyoto from Osaka Airport, and Kyoto Station is the second or the final stop. It dropped us off right outside a hotel called Hotel Keihan, which is literally a few steps away from the Keihan bus ticketing office that's on the ground floor, connected to a 24-hour convenience store. And then I noticed the convenience store is actually part of a shopping mall called the Kyoto Avanti. There is a Tully's coffee on the ground floor of the shopping mall where I wanted to get a coffee the next morning before my return bus ride to the Osaka airport, but for some reason it was still closed at 9 a.m. on a Monday. That said, I noticed one shop at the shopping mall that was open on the first floor, and look at this! Look what I found! It has got so much stuff from makeup to clothing to hair dryers. Very compact space and is total stimulation overload. It was very Japanese and very interesting. There's also a JR station, steps away from the shopping mall, and you'll see Kyoto train station right across the street. So if you want to stay in Kyoto and plan to explore nearby locations by bus or by train for connections, you can consider staying at Hotel Keihan or nearby hotels in this area. 7. Convenience store saga. I decided to get something quick at the convenience store that's connected to the bus ticketing office. While I was looking at the food, a staff came over to tell me that they're closing in a few minutes at 10 p.m. I was already running low on yen. I wanted to pay by Visa, and the staff said they don't have Visa anymore because it's too late.
So I had to pay cash.
Again, in Japan, cash is king. But luckily, I saw a currency exchange machine right outside the convenience store, so that was super helpful. 8. Budget accommodation. I stayed at a small hotel for a few hours just to shower and to sleep before I hop on the plane again the next day. The hotel room layout was nearly exactly the same as the dingy hotel we stopped over in Tokyo for the night on our way to skiing in Nagano before. This is the standard layout for budget hotels in Japan. They are not all like this, of course. The business hotel that I stayed at last time in Tokyo was much fancier with bigger rooms that you would normally expect. But back to this little budget hotel room, it is amazing how well each space and nook in the room is optimized for maximum utilization. You can see that it is super tiny, but it's got everything you need, including one of those super sophisticated Japanese toilets with heated seats and music. And look at the height of the basin counter. It is even a bit of a stretch for tiny people like myself, and what can I say? Except that this is super kids friendly. 9. Bus return to Osaka. I took the return bus leg to the Osaka Kansai Airport. Make sure you reserve a seat beforehand to guarantee yourself a seat. This was also mentioned in the bus announcement on my way from the Osaka Airport to Kyoto. Just go to the Keihan bus ticketing office, and I found a staff who spoke basic English. He quickly helped me with the seat reservation. There are many bus times each day running between Kyoto Station and Osaka Kansai Airport, so you just need to tell the staff what time and they will reserve a seat for you. I hope you find these tips helpful when you plan your trip to Kyoto. Bye!